Have you ever entered a home and immediately felt something without even knowing why? Maybe you couldn't explain it, but the space felt calming, elevated, and unexpectedly warm. It wasn't just the furniture or the color palette. It was the scent in the air, the quiet hum in the background, the textures that invited you to slow down and breathe a little deeper. Welcome to Design Unscripted, and today I'm revealing what makes a space feel as good as it looks. We're talking about sensory design, how elements like sound, scent, and texture can completely change the experience of a space. Because most luxurious homes aren't just seen, they're felt. Design is often viewed purely through a visual lens, but a well-designed home is something you feel the moment you enter it. Whether it's the hush of a room, the softness in the air around you, or the faint scent of something familiar, the spaces that linger with us are the ones that speak to more than just the eyes. In luxury design, these invisible layers shape the atmosphere and emotion. They're what elevate the space from style to soulful and support how you live every single day. I've had clients walk into a space and just say, I don't know what it is, but it just feels right. And that's the beauty of designing for the senses. It works on a level that goes far beyond just aesthetics. Because once you start designing with feeling in mind, everything changes. It's no longer about just what a space looks like. It becomes about how it welcomes you, how it grounds you, and how it moves with you throughout the day. And one of the most powerful ways to begin that emotional connection is through something completely invisible, and that is scent. Scent is deeply emotional. It doesn't ask to be seen. It just exists in the background, shaping your experience without demanding your attention. When used thoughtfully, scent becomes an identity of the home, not overpowering or obvious, but subtle, like a final note in a well-composed room. Do you have a scent that immediately transports you back to a place? Maybe it's a hotel you traveled to or someone's home that made you immediately feel welcome. And that's the power of fragrance. It's memory wrapped in air. I often create scent pairings for clients for different areas of their home. In bedrooms, I choose something calming, like soft woods, gentle florals, or a trace of lavender can help signal the nervous system to wind down. It becomes part of your nightly rhythm, like a nonverbal cue that signals it's time to rest. For morning spaces, I love clean, fresh scents like citrus, mint, and eucalyptus. They can make your kitchen or bathroom feel bright, energized, or intentionally refreshing, especially during your first moments of the day. In the entryway, something warm and grounding, like sandalwood, cardamom, or amber, sets the tone the second you walk in. It's like a quiet welcome, like your space saying, you're home, before you even set your keys down. Two of my personal favorites are scents that I developed to reflect this philosophy, and they're called Aura and Alchemy. Aura is soft and airy, with a subtle blend of warm florals and sheer woods. It lingers gently in the background, creating a sense of calm without calling attention to itself. I think of it as the scent version of exhaling, refined, quiet, and deeply grounding. Now, Alchemy is deeper and moodier, with black cardamom, dark rose, and smoky woods. It's layered, a little mysterious, and perfect for spaces where you want to feel held and at home. Both are available on my website, and I've included the link in the show notes if you're curious about exploring them further. They weren't created to be just decorative. They were created to enhance the emotional experience of a space. Because whether it's a candle, florals, or a diffuser, scent should feel like a natural extension of your home, not an afterthought. And just like scent shapes what we feel emotionally, sound shapes how we settle physically, how our bodies respond to a space, often without us even realizing it. Sadly, sound is often overlooked in spaces, but it's one of the most important layers in how a room feels. You can enter a room that looks absolutely stunning, but if it echoes or feels loud and hollow, the energy changes. It doesn't invite you to relax. And that's why acoustic comfort is something that I'm always thinking about, especially in open floor plans, primary suites, or multi-purpose living spaces. We use materials that absorb, diffuse, and soften sound that create a sense of calm and quiet. Let's look at draperies, for example. It does way more than just add elegance. It dampens echo, softens the edges, and creates a feeling of enclosure, especially in rooms with high ceilings. Rugs can also help absorb foot traffic and noise. They also help zone and to define open spaces to create more of an intimate feel, which is key in creating intimacy, especially in larger rooms. Upholstered furniture naturally absorbs sound. A plush sofa or an upholstered dining chair reduces noise, but it also creates a sensory invitation, something soft to land on both physically and acoustically. Architectural surfaces like wood slats, paneled walls, or even textured wallpaper act as subtle sound diffusers. These elements add depth, movement, and softness without being overly technical or decorative for the sake of it. When these elements work together, you create a space that feels quiet, even if it isn't silent. It feels intentional. And that's the point, not eliminating sound, but shaping it. Just like sound, texture is a layer that transforms how you experience a space, not just visually, but physically. In luxury design, what something feels like against your skin can be just as powerful as how it looks to the eye. Touch is where design becomes personal. It's what we engage with the most, constantly and often unconsciously. I always consider texture in my work. It's what gives the room depth and character. And that's not just through contrast, but through comfort. Let's go through some examples. Stone brings a natural, cooling, and grounding presence. Whether it's honed, polished, or leathered, it adds weight to a space visually and physically. Then you look at materials like cashmere. It feels like luxury. Think of a throw on the arm of a chair, or a pillow in the reading nook adds softness that invites you in without even saying a word. Luxurious cotton sateen is my go-to for bedding. It's breathable, elegant, and has that smooth, subtle sheen that makes getting into bed feel like a ritual. Other harder surfaces like aged brass or hand-finished metal hardware adds a tactile patina, something with a little grip, a little history and soul. It's one of my favorite design moments when a client instinctively reaches out and says, "I love this." That physical connection is the difference between a space that looks beautiful and one that feels unforgettable. When we design for touch, when every texture, surface, and finish is considered, we create spaces that invite presence. You're not just moving through the home, you're experiencing it. But that's only part of the story because the most unforgettable spaces engage more than just one or two senses. They're designed to speak to all five. Designing for the senses changes everything. When you consider how a space sounds, smells, and feels, not just how it looks, you move from decoration to experience. Let's go beyond the obvious. Sight gives you the visual language. The architecture, color, styling, scent creates the emotional memory. It sets the mood. Sound controls energy and calmness. It makes the space feel expansive and intimate. Touch is physical memory. It adds warmth, weight, and softness. And yes, even taste, not in the literal design, but in how you live in a space. The way your kitchen flows, your coffee station, your dinner parties, your bar cart, all of that adds flavor to how you experience a home. So think about your home. What does it smell like the moment you enter? Is there quiet? Echo? Do you feel comfort and softness in the spaces you linger? These things matter. They shape how you begin and end each day. And when done intentionally, they make your space feel not just styled, but deeply personal. A beautiful home is one thing, but a home that engages your senses, that's something else entirely. It's grounding, it's immersive, it's yours. So if your home looks beautiful, but still feels like something's missing, maybe it's not just what you see. Maybe it's what you don't see. Ask yourself, what does my home sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like to the touch? Design isn't just about aesthetics. It's about how you live and how your home supports your life. And that's all I have for you today. If this episode inspires you to think of your home in a new way, please share it with a friend. Tag us on Instagram at Manuela Morera Interiors. I'd love to hear what sensory elements you love about your space. And if you're curious about my signature candles, Aura and Alchemy, I've included a link for them in the show notes. They were created to support the emotional side of design, to help you build rituals around scent, memory, and atmosphere. And as always, if you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe, leave us a quick review. It helps us to grow this podcast and to bring you a lot of great content, which I'm super excited about. And whether you're listening or watching, thank you so much for being here. See you next time.